Spelling in your title.
Jason Rasevych, spelled JASON RASEVYCH, and I am the president and co-founder of the Anishnawbe Business Professional Association.
So tell us why you started this association.
Well, there's a number of reasons, but the main purpose was, within the network of First Nation communities in the north, we seen a gap for advocacy, a gap for support for the First Nation business community entrepreneurs. At times, our elected leadership within First Nations and political organizations are very busy and doing a lot of great work of discussing community infrastructure related to housing and First Nation infrastructure and social programs, and I guess reacting to some legislation and partisan issues where sometimes these small businesses do not get the level of support they need, and we're here to provide that stronger voice for the First Nation business community in the north.
Well, following with that, how much untapped potential do you think there is with First Nations businesses in the area?
It's enormous, and through market information that we're going to gather, we'll be able to come out with some statistics on an annual basis to monitor that over a period of time and to set our dashboard for growth. We talk about Ontario and Canada's GDP, and the main focus is small and medium business enterprises to grow that. In our First Nation communities, it becomes a challenge. Entrepreneurs that are in Anishnawbe in the area see a lot more challenges than our non-Indigenous counterparts when it comes to starting a business, access to capital, procurement, and getting contracts, and the branding and the promotion of their services. And this is what we're here to do, is to create a wide network and to be able to get some support there within government and industry to see First Nation businesses in a new light.
There's a lot of First Nation opportunity. We're seeing it in the power, in mining, in forestry. Do you feel you can mentor a lot of new entrepreneurs in?
Definitely. There's, when we're talking about the different sectors, we're seeing a lot of more First Nation entrepreneurs set up shop. We're seeing a lot more First Nation economic development corporations develop strategic plans related to specific sectors, whether it be mining, tourism, forestry, energy. And you're going to see a lot more Anishnawbe business is take advantage of those opportunities. So a lot of more larger projects, a lot of more bigger initiatives happening, but it doesn't take away from the arts and crafts sector, the tourism sector, the retail service sector that exists within our local First Nations and within the area.
What are some of the specific services that you'll be able to provide for people?
Well, we're looking at the membership benefits as being information and guidance through networking, events, and information. The services are going to be available, are promoted on the website, and it really is a process of identifying what the membership needs are. We're planning to launch our first event this spring to further raise awareness of the ABPA and then to promote what we can do to see the Anishnawbe businesses work with industry and see more market share in the north.
What's the impact of the businesses in the north, dollar-wise? People in Thunder Bay often don't really realize how much money comes into our community from the Indigenous community.
It's in the multi-millions in the north. When we're talking about economic leakage in First Nations, with First Nation communities being the decision maker and economic buyer, we're seeing a lot of dollars flow out to non-Indigenous businesses because of lack of capacity, because of lack of movement on some of the business planning initiatives, and then education and financial literacy at the community level. But it's massive. It's in the 100 millions of the economic leakage that is flowing out of communities every year, and that's part of our processes is to find ways to plug that leaky bucket so that we could further maximize the opportunities for the First Nation communities within their own systems and economies.
So how many members do you expect to get, and will they be from beyond the Thunder Bay and Northwest Ontario area?
Well, our catchment area is the northeastern and northwestern districts. When we look at that from a municipal perspective, because there are First Nation entrepreneurs that are operating within city limits or townships and seeking self-employment, but we also have the catchment area of Treaty 3, Treaty 5, Treaty 9, Robinson Superior Treaty, 1850, and Robinson Huron Treaty. So that's over 100 First Nations, and we're going from Sudbury right to the Manitoba border. So with membership, it's going to be a process. It's definitely a drive to further engage the First Nation communities to understand the benefits of joining. And, we set some targets to go for at least 100 members within the first year.
How do people join?
You could sign up by visiting the website. There's a process to fill out there that's immediate. To fill out the registration there, we're accepting 2 classes of membership, the Anishnawbe business members and then the associate business members and student members as well.
Thank you.
Good.
What are the qualifications for that? I mean, is there some instances where somebody wouldn't be able to join?
To be recognized as an Anishnawbe business member, you need to have a business that's at least 51% owned by First Nation, and that would be the eligibility criteria to be rated in that category. Within that category, there's also nonprofit corporations that are structured within the First Nation, and then the First Nations for-profit corporations that may be a limited partnership. Then we've got the associate business memberships that are basically any industry or businesses that want to get involved.
Good.
Thank you, Mitch.